Whether you won your matchups or lost them in week 1, it doesn't matter because we got another week and we're going to give you our starts and sits of the week. Number 1, our first start is Big Ben Roethlisberger. Look, there are so many weapons on this Steeler offense. I know we saw the Raiders play really well last week against the Ravens, but I really believe that Big Ben can come into this game and utilize all those weapons. While it is still early in the season, I still view these Raiders as a fantasy matchup that you want to exploit. I see Big Ben throwing 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns, getting around the 20 to 24 point range in this game. Our second start of the week is Mike Williams. I know this might feel like a trap game, but this is a very good matchup. Last week, coming off a very good game, 8 for 82 yards and a touchdown. The chemistry with Herbert seems to be there, and this Dallas Cowboys defense just lost to Marcus Lawrence, which means they're not going to be able to be pressuring Justin Herbert. This Cowboys defense gave up over 90 PPR fantasy points last week to the wide receiver position. That is 5th most in the league. It's only going to get worse from here as these injuries start to pile up for these Cowboys. My prediction, Mike Williams goes 5 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown, 17 PPR points, a guy that you could definitely start in your flex position. Our third start of the week is Noah Fant. The Jerry Jeudy injury is devastating for fantasy owners. He looked so good, but because his injuries happened, it looks like Noah Fant can step into a prominent role in this offense. He might be the number 1 receiving option on this team. I know Cortland Sutton is there, but it still feels like Noah Fant is the go-to guy for Teddy Bridgewater within this offense. The matchup is juicy this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just let Tyrod Taylor torch them through the air. Teddy Bridgewater can definitely do that, and he'll be looking for Noah Fant. My prediction is that he goes 6 receptions for 68 yards and a tutty. Our fourth start of the week is Chase Edmonds, who actually looked very good last week against these Tennessee Titans. I love the role that he has produced for himself, especially if you are playing in a PPR format. He's got a decent role on the ground, but more importantly, through the air, he's still that check down guy for Kyler Murray. He's also facing this Vikings defense that just gave up 25 points to Joe Mixon last week. They could not stop a thing. My prediction this week, 17 total touchdowns with 90 total yards, and he will find a touchdown, 19 PPR points. He's a guy I'm comfortable to start as my RB2 this week. Our last start of the week is Jarvis Landry, who had a great week last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. 5 catches, 71 yards. I see him building off that week 1 performance here in week 2 as the Browns face the Houston Texans, who just let DJ Chark, Marvin Jones, and Shenault all score over 12 PPR points. They actually allowed the 6th most points to the position last week. I think Baker Mayfield is set for a great day. He can exploit this offense, and Jarvis will be his number 1 target while OBJ is still out. My prediction, 8 receptions for 90 yards. I don't see a touchdown. That could happen, but around 17 PPR points for Jarvis Landry. While we have starts of the week, we're going to give you 2 sits of the week, guys that we are avoiding. Number 1 is Mike Davis. He's playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who just held Zeke Elliott to under 6 points last week. This is a defense that you just don't want to mess around. This is probably the worst matchup that you can see for your running back each week. And by the way, Cordell Patterson actually played a pretty big role on this team, and he was much more efficient than Mike Davis. We might see a little bit of Wayne Gallman in this game. Personally, Mike Davis is a sit for me this week. Our last sit of the week is Josh Jacobs. I know he had a good game last week, but if you take away those 2 touchdowns, it was not a very sexy performance. You probably would have been disappointed with it. Kenyon Drake looks to have the passing game, unfortunately, in this backfield. Even though JJ can catch the ball, it doesn't look like they're going to give him that opportunity. Still dealing with that toe injury against the Steelers defense. It's just not a combination that seems like fantasy success will come from. So we are going to sit JJ in a short week as well. Speaking of, our last honorable mention for a sit is Saquon Barkley. Hopefully you're watching this before the Thursday Night Football games, but while we could be wrong, we just don't trust the short week and still coming back from that injury. These are our starts and sits of the week. Comment down below. Are you starting or sitting any of these guys? And by the way, it's okay to have a different opinion. Let us know. Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/Fantasyland fam.